Welcome to the Cell Soul Source podcast. I'm Jackie, a chiropractor, yogi, and Akashic reader, and I'm here to activate healing in light workers of all kinds so they can serve from an empowered place and fulfill their purpose with ease, awe, and wonder. We have got a hot topic today. I am talking all things stress, responding versus reacting, and what the difference is and how that might play out and show up in your life. Let me start by saying that our physical symptoms show us exactly where there's something that we need to clean up energetically. So there's something that needs to be energetically released. Where we feel our pain, the side we feel the discomfort, the resistance, the stiffness, none of it is a coincidence. When it shows up is not a coincidence. We'll take the example of being stressed. We have all been there. You feel like you have got way too much on your plate. You are literally spinning plates between work and the kids and trying to fit hobbies in and domestics. Maybe you're looking after, parents, grandparents above, kids below, animals to the side. There is so much going on and life just feels really, really busy. And the problem is there's no white space. There are no gaps. There's no free time. And so there isn't enough time for you to decompress and reset. That little bit of sleep that you're getting on a night is not undoing what's happened in the previous days. And so it's almost accumulating and compounding over time. You just feel like you're on the hamster's wheel, holding on for dear life. And you kind of have that feeling that if everything goes according to plan and if everything goes well, I can just about hold it together. But if anything goes wrong or anything unexpected crops up or anything comes out of left field, you feel like the whole thing's just going to come crashing down. And we are not meant to live in this state. Even if you don't know anything about biology, physiology, how humans work, did we really come here to live like that, day in and day out? When we live like that, you live in something called sympathetic dominance. So your nervous system detects that there's stress. And by now you've heard that it doesn't matter whether it's an email or a bear. The response physiologically is the same. It starts the same cascade of events. All the chemicals, all the physiological changes. Your body releases stress hormones like adrenaline. And it also starts an inflammatory response ahead of time because it thinks, what if we are struck by the bear? What if the bear bites us? I'm going to send out an inflammatory response just in case so that if we are injured, we can sort that out and it's going to give us a better chance of survival. So it's sending it out of complete love. It's genius. Your body is the most exquisite system. But we just weren't meant to live like that all the time. So this is how people end up with chronic inflammation. This is how people end up with, long-term digestive issues. This is why you're struggling to sleep, because you're stuck in what's called sympathetic dominance, and it just feels like pressure bearing down on us constantly. And then suddenly you have sciatica, or your low back just goes out of nowhere. You weren't even lifting anything heavy, or you sprain your ankle. This is the physical response to what needs to be released energetically. So there's a blockage that drives this state. It's the one that's got you in that reactive state, feeling like you're on the back foot all the time, scrambling between one appointment and the next. This is the blockage that's got you feeling like you are juggling all the time. And when you release this blockage, this is when you're able to respond to life from the energy of ease. So imagine your system is largely in the parasympathetic state. It feels safe most of the time. It feels like it can just kick back, relax. Everybody uses the analogy of, the bucket, the watering hole, and it hears a rustling in the grass. And when it realizes that rustling is nothing to be afraid of, there is no threat, then it just goes back to the watering hole, minding its own business, feeling absolutely great with life. Now, we're not saying that the stress response is bad. We do need it from time to time. But what we want is a resilient nervous system. We want it to activate when it feels an actual threat, and we want it to dial down when that threat has passed. We don't want it to be in that hypervigilant state all the time, feeling like it's in overdrive all the time. We want it to predominantly be in parasympathetic, but resilient, so that it can toggle between the two in a healthy way. So imagine that you were in this energy of ease. Imagine you had cleared this blockage and your system feels safe. Imagine going out into life from that energy. So now when the guy cuts you up on the way to work, it's meh. You don't even give a reaction. There is no reaction. And when you get to work, you give yourself time to have a coffee, to settle in, and you haven't overloaded yourself, through the day. Your diary's not jam-packed because you value your lunch. You value those white spaces and those breaks in your diary, and you don't give them up. You're disciplined enough to keep those because you value your own rest. You value your own time to be able to decompress. Maybe someone's late for their appointment, and it doesn't matter because you've got wiggle room in the diary. You haven't jam-packed it full. Maybe you get home and, one of the kids has a bad day, or husband, wife has a bad day, and they're offloading onto you when you get home, and usually you would react, you would take it personally. But now you're in such a good place. You feel so goddamn easy. You're so solid in who you are and what you're doing that you can just listen. You don't have to come up with a solution. You can actively listen, which 9 times out of 10 is just exactly what the other person wants from you. Imagine then responding from this calm place. And when we're in this state, we can access our wisdom body. So the wisdom body is the energy body that gives you the emotionally intelligent answer, the one that's most in alignment with where you're going, your highest timeline, your purpose, your mission. Instead of reacting on the back foot of, I need a solution, let me just do this. Now you can access your wisdom body because you have those pauses in your day. And you can think, what is the right step forward? What is my next right step? And because you're not stressed out and reactive, you can respond, this makes sense. I'm going to go this way. And wow, when you have really cleared this up, when something happens that used to trigger you and you just stay really balanced, you just remain calm and centered and connected, it doesn't blow you over like it used to. And it doesn't set you off in a chain of reactions like it used to. You can just stay centered and grounded and just deal with the thing in front of you. And let me tell you, after years and years of being in sympathetic dominance, after years of reacting on my back foot, making decisions out of fear, worry, doubt, dissolving this blockage feels incredible. It feels absolutely gorgeous to experience your life in a completely different way, from a completely different frequency. And so I know I've cleared it because I'm not triggered by the things that used to trigger me. And I can look back in hindsight with almost amusement and go, look how far I've come. But it goes deeper than that. Other people started to notice, wow, you look radiant. You've got such a great vibe. You feel really nice to be around. But it goes even deeper than that. I was able to connect to myself. I was able to more deeply love, respect, and honor myself. It allowed me to be able to choose myself over and over and over. And for those of you that are feeling, I can't do that. That sounds a little bit selfish. Notice whatever's coming up for you, because that's feedback. It's great information that you can leverage to clear this yourself. And it does take a little bit of redirecting, because when your default path has been, I don't matter, I'm going to do what the other person wants instead. If that's been your default for a long time, then it is going to take consistent awareness to create a new path. And until you've done this for yourself, you're going to have to take my word for it. When you choose yourself over and over and over, and you become a more and more happy person yourself, everyone around you benefits. Your partner will benefit from you being in your highest frequency. Your children will benefit from you showing up for them in your highest frequency instead of tired and reactive all the time. If you show up in your highest frequency to work, your clients, whoever they are, benefit from that. So, how many times have you heard this? It starts from the inside out. It starts from you first. So those of us that are healers, light workers, body workers, yoga teachers, you name it, we have been conditioned to put others first, and we have been working from this blockage the whole time. But when we work after clearing this blockage, and you absolutely love who you are and what you're doing in the world, doesn't that create some amazing transformations in the people around you? They look at you, they see your example, and they go, I want some of that. How did she do that? And you do it by clearing this blockage. This is the first one that I cleared. I would argue it is one that everybody needs to clear, because it affects so much of your life. And so if any part of that resonated with you, there are a couple of ways that you can work through it. If you are more a DIY kind of person, then the Restore Masterclass and Attunement is for you. So in the masterclass, I literally go through each energy body and I explain how it will speak to you, how it will tell you that this blockage is there, and what you can specifically do about it through each energy body to clear it yourself. And then there's an attunement as well that I invite you to use regularly, which will put you in the parasympathetic state. So even if you make no other shift in your life, but to do that attunement once a week, at least you're down regulating your nervous system. You're allowing it to feel what that parasympathetic safe state feels like. If you would like to work through this one-to-one, then I have an intensive, it's a 5-session bundle where we work through this and all your energy bodies. You're welcome to book that. Or if you want to do it in a group space, embodiment is coming up in August. So DM me and I will send you details of that. But that is going to be incredible. We are going to clear this blockage, heal it, and activate your new codes so that you can feel the energy of ease, so that you can respond to life instead of reacting. Let me know how that lands. You can always DM me on Instagram. And I so look forward to connecting with you on the next podcast. I am rooting for you. We rise together. If you feel called, please rate and review. I would really appreciate that.